Welcome to another episode here of The Flight Plan. I'm Christopher. I'm going to be your host again today. We're talking about our drone systems. I believe Abigail's got some questions on how we price our services and how we price ourselves with drones. The moment that you stop learning how to price your services, you're going to fall behind. Drone systems are constantly changing in how services can be done, how long a drone can be in the air, equipment to do different processing. You got to understand what's going on in the market as well. So you've got to constantly be checking yourself versus the pricing around. For me, to be able to get started, I way underpriced myself because I thought of where I was on the market that I had, that these were the prices that were good. And I had some very good clients that worked with me that actually said to me, hey, we want to talk to you about your pricing. You are underpricing yourself. If you increased your pricing by an extra 30%, we'd still pay for it because of the quality that comes out of your work. There's not a lot of clients that will do that. A lot of clients will just be like, cheapest thing in the market, I'm going to go for that. Not always as well, but I'm going to go for this. They've got the cheaper price, save the dollars here, and never say a word to you. So I had some really good clients on there. You've got two sides to the coin for your pricing. You either have you're too expensive or you're too cheap. When you're a company and you're looking for services, especially for drone services, if you're too expensive, they've got a bottom line they have to be able to meet. They can't be able to afford top dollar service from you for everything. If you're too cheap, most people will associate your cheapness with your quality. So you've got to find this balance between the two. I reflected upon local market of Wichita, Kansas City, and Colorado Springs being the top 3 markets local to our area here in Hays. And I went a little bit lower price than what they would offer because, number one, I don't have a lot of competition out here. There's only a couple other drone agencies that do drone services. I'm still the only one that does what I do for now. But we all do different services within the drone world. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't the top tier price because when someone else comes, they're going to have 3 options to be able to choose from. Am I cheaper than the current company? Am I faster than the current company? Is my quality better than the current company? For me, we have 4K service offered. As of the time that we're recording this video, there are not any consumer drones that have anything higher than 4K. There's some very much commercial drones and military drones that offer higher than 4K. But from a consumer drone perspective, nothing is higher than 4K. So to beat our quality, you're going to have to really start getting some high-priced drones. Next is speed. Yes, we have a little bit slower on our processing time because we take time to make our quality better. Another company could come in and say we have better speed. And then price. That's going to be the number one reason that people will try and start up a new company is I can make things cheaper. And it goes back to if you're too cheap, we're going to think your quality's cheap. So to try and balance all 3 of those is your key that you have to do. For me, I'm still learning the price and the speed, not so much the quality. The quality, I pretty much got that down. But the price and the speed are going to be the ones I always have to look at to make sure that my company is competitive with any others. Our biggest competition for us, because of the fact that we have to bid things out for different projects, is where's the next drone company that does what I do? If that answer is 3 hours away, which most of the things I do, my nearest competition is 3 hours away, they will also tack in on their bid transportation, and some of them might even say lodging as well, depending on how long the contract goes. So I can have availability of having a higher price service because of the fact that I'm not going to charge transportation and lodging on top of it because I'm already local, which means my quality will be the same as what theirs is. The price between the two, we might be really close in price, but they still might pick me because the fact that the money is not going to lodging, it's going to the service itself. When I first started out the drone side of the business, I decided on the pricing as kind of more of a shot in the dark. As I said, I used Wichita, Kansas City, and Colorado Springs as my baseline of these are the prices of what people do. Being in Hays and being new to this industry, I'm like, oh, we need to bring it even lower. And I looked at what I would pay for me if I wanted to get the service, and I way underbid the pricing. Looking back, I spent more time arguing with myself and self-doubt on what I'm worth and what my business, my services were worth, that I missed out on quite a bit of money. And we're not talking a couple hundred, we're talking a couple of thousands that I missed out on because I argued with myself and brought it down. Most of the time it's trial and error. You set your prices. If you don't get business, your prices are probably set too high. If you set your prices and you feel like it's just not worth the money, your prices are probably set too low. And it's a very fine line. What I ended up doing is I actually split my price chart into two separate charts. So I have a commercial pricing and a residential pricing. The way I did this is 90% of my commercial runs 4K, and they run a very specific format pattern on the 4K. So therefore, I'm going to charge more for that. Most people, as a residential side that would want to use the service, will not need 4K quality because they're not making this in mass production. They only need 1080, and their editing system is also going to be lower. Most people just want the basics. Not a lot of people want the high-end advanced like overlays and everything that we put in our commercial side. So what we did is we built two separate packaging systems. They're kind of the same, but the output is different. And that also meant the prices would be different. My residential prices match almost what I started on my pricing with, of what I would personally pay for a service. Whereas my commercial service matches closer to what the industry standard is for the 3 cities that I worked with. So that way, two separate packages did two different things. Not saying that a commercial agency couldn't come in and say, hey, we don't want the commercial service, we want residential. I'm not going to say no, because they're getting the same quality. They're getting the 1080 with the minimal overlay. If that's what they want, then they can choose the lower packaging. It's just the way that we divvied it down is what was the 90%? What was the biggest reason that people wanted this or this? And allow more people to have more options. When you work with your self-worth, there's really only two sides to it. You either have, I'm worth more than what I really am, and I'm not good enough for what I'm charging. There really is no in between. We all have this as human beings of one or the other. The conflict for me was I leant more towards the side of I'm not good enough. There's people better than me. I'm not to that level yet. So therefore I can't charge a high dollar because I'm not there. I pretty much put myself in a box that I wasn't good enough. And it hurt me in the financial side of things. Over time, as more people would see my work and I'd hear, oh my gosh, this is incredible. This is amazing. It started getting me to start thinking, okay, maybe I'm not worthless. Maybe maybe I'm not at the point of thinking I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm closer to I can charge higher dollar, but I'm still not quite there yet. Because of my photography site as well, I've done that for decades. Really, what helped me understand my worth was parents are always you charging too little. You can do better. Parents are always parents. I do the same thing to my kid. You're better than what you are, what you think you are. You've got this. You don't see what I see as a parent. It wasn't until I had people who had already paid me money that said, "Hey, I care about you. I care about your business. I want you to succeed. Here's what we think is really it." And that was kind of a boost to that whole I'm not good enough concept, and really to the point of I'm getting closer to this. I'm worth so much. It's hard to answer the question of what is my pricing on the fact that there's so many different things that we do. Everything's broken down into sections. So when someone comes to me and says, I need a service done with drones, my very first question is, tell me what you want. Not, here's the package price list, pick from it. It's, what do you want? And I figure out where their project fits into our price structure. Cheapest things, $300 can get you a 30-minute flight. More expensive lines can be up to $1,000 for a flight. It really depends on what service they want and how big the project is. Some projects can actually be tens of thousands of dollars if we're getting down to it. There is, when you're doing mapping, 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional mapping of an area, because of the fact that you have to fly certain grid patterns in such a way and have so much of a computer to process that, they're going to tend to be more expensive than I want to have video of my family's farm because my great 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 grandfather built the original building, and now we're looking at we have to sell the property, but we want something to remember it by. You don't need to spend tens of thousands of dollars to map great great grandfather's property. You just need a 30-minute aerial flight with pictures and videos to go through and get the information. So it really comes down to whatever a person's project is. There was one project that we bid it out for, we didn't get, but we bid it out for, that it could have actually been over $90,000 if we actually won the bid. They decided to go a different route, which is fine, because when you look at a price tag of $90,000, that's a big sticker shock. But then we've got projects that I just had at the fair. Guy said, "Hey, I've just built a new building on my property, and it's right next to the building that my grandfather built, which is right next to the building that my great-great-grandfather built. I'd love to be able to have an aerial picture of the whole property." Okay, cool. Do we want like a half-hour flight, or we want just a single photo? We don't need video or anything. We just need a single photo. All right, well, I'll tell you what. Pay for the drive out there, because it's not here in Hays. It was outside of town. Pay for the drive out there and back, and we're going to do a 15-minute flight, $150 for the photo. That'll be how long it'll take for us to take 5 or 6 different photos, make a nice big panoramic stitched photo for them, and the drive is covered in there. Something like that, simplistic, but it still gets people to get what they need. You don't have to twist arms and legs off of people to be able to get pay, but you also don't want to give away your stuff for free. Typically, I don't do a different in pricing for the quality. I do a different in pricing for how long it can be in the air for a different sizing of drones. In our industry, we've got drones that can be this big all the way up to the size of SUVs. I don't have an SUV sized drone. Although it'd be really nice to have one, I don't have one. All of ours are on the smaller consumer size. So my smallest drone has a flight time of about 20 minutes, so we charge a 15-minute time frame for it. My medium-sized drone has a 35-minute flight time, so we do a 20 minutes for that one. And then my large drone has a 45-minute flight time, so we charge every 30 minutes. The reason that we don't charge the flight time or the battery, as we said in a different video, you don't have airtime as that long. That's just how long your battery lasts. It takes battery to take off, maneuver into position, fly your mission, maneuver your drone back, and landing. And you always want to keep a good chunk of battery, 20% of battery left for your return trip before you land. So that way you don't risk running out of battery. So we built ours to where we have 20% and then some for our actual flight time. As we tell all of our clients as well, 20 minutes flight time does not mean 20 minutes of video time. It depends on what their project is that determines how much flight time we need. So for instance, there was a contract that we did for a construction site that we were flying a predetermined route for the entire system, and it would take 2 batteries worth to be able to do the route, because the first route was photos. We had to fly to a spot, stop, take the picture, fly to the next spot, stop, take a picture, and then so on and so forth. By the time that one was done, we had almost 20 minutes in the air to complete that route. So we counted as 1 battery at a 30-minute flight. Then we need to fly it back, change batteries, and do the exact same route again. So when we work with a client, we told them, okay, it's going to be 2 30-minute flights to complete every time that we do the system, and that's how we charged it. The bigger the drone doesn't always mean more flight time. It just so happens that in ours, the smallest drone we have has the lowest flight time, and the biggest drone we have has the longest flight time. So it doesn't always mean the bigger the drone, the more time that we have for our flight time. Some drones that are the size of those, those little tight cars, the ones that kids can drive around in, only have like a 15-minute flight time. But they're built for carrying payloads. So the batteries are designed to be quick, so you can take out a spraying drone of payload capacity, dump all the spray within that 15 minutes, fly back, land, refill the chemicals, and change the batteries. So that's what those systems are designed for. There are some drones that are the same size as the one that I have that has an hour and a half, almost 2 hours of flight time. But they're designed for cinematic, pull a camera up, hover it, and run through a full movie style to get all the film, but it stays airborne the whole time, so that way the camera operator doesn't have to land and take off and land and take off and land and take off while they're trying to do the shoot more than one time. It's just determining what drone you have. So when you price your services, you price it to what equipment you have and the capability of what you can accomplish in that flight time. So some people might say, oh, I can be able to do, for instance, I can map in for a 2-dimensional, I can map 15 acres on 1 battery. Somebody else might have a drone that can map 2-dimensional 15 acres on 1/4 of a battery, or it might take 4 batteries to map it. It just depends on what equipment they have and how much you yourself have to put into the process to do it. So if, like me, I priced it out to what my drone can do. If I get a better drone that I can take 30 acres instead of 15 in the same time frame, I'll probably lower my price a little bit, because of the fact that I can let the drone do more of the work, and even though it's the same processing, it looks as a better deal because I can get more people to see the value of what it is by bringing the pricing down. When you start off in the new, if you start off as a new commercial pilot and you're getting ready to go on your own and start putting your pricing out there, number one thing is do the research on your industry and do the research on your area. Determine what area you want to work in. If you say, I only want to work local, and you're in a big city, you're going to have a lot of competition that's going to be in that area. So you have a lot of data to pull from to say where you want to have your pricing. As I said earlier, you have 3 options to work with: pricing, quality, and timing. If you pick which one you're going to do to beat your competition, that's where you'll set your system up from. Don't go so low that you look cheap. When you're at the supermarket and you see steak over here at $15 for $15 for like a pound and a half of steak, which is ridiculous. Or you've got steak that's right here that's only $7 for the pound. The first thing you look is, why is that so cheap? At least I do. Then you find out, oh, that's because it's not a good cut of steak. It's actually a roast, not steak. You're going to go with a more expensive one because it's a better quality, better tasting than the cheap one. Same thing goes with industry. And it's not just for drones. Any industry has this. If you go so cheap, you become known as the cheap one, even if your quality is still good. Perception is a big thing with people. And when you start out, you're going to be in this point of saying, well, I don't have proof of what I can do, so therefore I'm going to give away my services. The biggest mistake you can make is to give away your stuff for free. I fell into that trap, still fall into that trap even today, of I'm not good enough, therefore I need to do it for free to show that I am good enough. If you're going to work with people like friends and family, if they really are your friends and family, they'll understand if you charge them 1/10 of the industry average. Hey, I'll be more than happy to be able to fly the house that my great-grandfather built, but could you do it for like $50 instead of charging $500? If your family wants you to succeed, they'll pay you the $50. Most people will go into the thing of, well, it's family, I'll just do it for free. There's a point that you gotta be able to be successful at the same time. The other big thing that I encourage brand new people who are coming in on the commercial side of things is find something that's not being done in your area and make that your expertise. As I said, there's a couple other drone companies in little tiny Hays, Kansas of 20-something thousand people. There's more than one drone company out here, but we all are in our own section of what we do. So where I can do many of what other people are doing, I don't prioritize my services for that. I prioritize my service on this section that people aren't doing. I do the commercials. I do the work with the agencies in town to build videos. That's what I do. There's another company that they do it for the construction sites. There's another company that primarily does it for mapping. There's another company that does it for agricultural spraying. All of those companies are here within a 20,000 community, and we still have so much more room to grow. If you're in an area, big city, Colorado Springs, yes, Colorado Springs is a big city, Denver, Wichita, Kansas City, I'm just naming the ones that are close by to us, you could have 8 companies in just a video side. Still don't think that you're going to have to give away your stuff for free to get with. And partner with some people. Maybe find a company that's already doing it in your area and just go and talk with them. When I first moved here, that was the first thing that I did. I went and found any drone company that was in town. And I just called them up, or when they didn't answer the phone, went over to their office and just said, hey, I'm new to town. I'm starting up a drone business. I want to see what you guys do so I don't step on your toes. So we all can play together in the same sandbox. And that goes so far with the already existing companies, because the fact that you're showing that you care not just about what you're going to do, but about what their business is. And then you guys can work together and create this harmonious network. And then it's also nice because if you do have two people that are doing the same thing, hey, I need a drone on this date. I'm sorry, I'm already booked there. But so-and-so also does this. Here's their number. You can get business by getting those professional points as well. Thank you for joining us on another episode here of The Flight Plan. My name's Christopher. We are going to wrap this episode up because we don't want to sit here and talk your ear off about pricing. There's so much you can learn on your own as well. But if you want to, feel free to ask some questions, comment on the videos here, and subscribe to our channel so we can hear more about what you guys have to say. Until next time, thank you so much for joining. Keep flying!